Alright, water. Water is something that we all drink and we need it to survive. We can't deny this. This is just how our biology works. And unfortunately, in California, it is something that many of us take for granted. We think that there's an infinite amount of, well, many of us think there's an infinite amount of supply that will just continue to run from our sinks and showers. But this may not be the case in years to come. The drought in California is getting to the point where it is an issue so big it cannot be ignored. And I would like to talk about some possible solutions for the drought, as well as the consequences that it has brought upon us. My intention here is to convince you all that there are minor changes at home that can help you conserve water, as well as larger major changes such as drought-free programs that can hugely impact the amount of water we conserve every day. So let's go on. I'd like to start off by talking about the impacts of the drought at this moment. Governor Jerry Brown has stated that we are in a historic drought that demands unprecedented action. The drought in California has officially been going on for the past 4 years, and it has minorly been going on for years prior to that. The officially means that the past 4 years we have gotten a extremely low amount of rainfall to the point that we cannot sustain our own reservoirs, and our snowfall is also low as well, so we are not getting the amount of water to trickle down and flow into our rivers as we normally would in the past decade. Because of this, Jerry Brown has instituted the first executive order that a governor has, and it is to cut the amount of water used by California by 25%. And this is a mandated order that he has sent out last April. However, many Californians still feel that if my neighbor conserves water, I won't have to, and that's a mentality that needs to stop. A second consequence to the drought is that our farmland is becoming unusable because we do not have enough water to sustain it. Mark Cohen, head of the DWR, the California Department of Water Resources, has stated that last year 400,000 acres of farmland was unused, the irrigated farmland, and this number is expected to double within the year. And for a little bit of perspective, 400,000 acres is 5% of our total amount of irrigated farmland, and if it doubles, it will go to 10. And if that number continues, because we continue to consume water irresponsibly, we will soon run out of farmland, which will greatly impact our economy. Now, I'd like to start telling you about some simple household changes that you can do every day to help you conserve many gallons of water. So let's start with the obvious one, is your sinks and your showers. Everyone takes showers, I hope, or baths. I probably noticed if you didn't. And the typical shower head reported by the Grace Communication Foundation is to flow 5 gallons of water per minute. Now, 5 gallons of water per minute is quite a long time if you're someone who takes excessive showers that can last up to 30 minutes. We're talking over 150 gallons per shower, and that's if you do it once a day. Many people take showers twice, even 3 times a day. And so, what's the solution to this? Well, you could take shorter showers, cut them down to 10 minutes. That cuts your water intake by a huge amount. But more importantly, you could switch to low flow shower heads, which are averaged to use about 2.5 gallons a minute, even less in some cases. So that immediately cuts your water consumption by half through shower. And this also applies to sinks. An average sink is 3 gallons a minute, and you can stop that usage by, if you have the sink running when you're brushing your teeth, just turn it off before you, when you're not rinsing out, and then turn it back on when you need it. And then, of course, you can switch to low flow, which will again cut the amount in half to 1.5 gallons per minute. Now, those are simple household changes. You could also, when you're doing your laundry, switch to try not to do too many loads of laundry. Try to let your laundry stockpile and then do it all at once. Like I do, it gets in a little pile on the floor, get messy, so have a laundry hamper. But other than that, okay, so that's what you could do inside the house. But more importantly, the big changes, the really impactful changes are outside the house. And we're talking about your lawn, if you own a house. If you own an apartment, this doesn't really apply to you, unfortunately. So, according to the CDP, which is the California Drought Preparedness Group, watering lawns takes up about half of a household's water consumption. So basically your sprinkler system is the biggest cause of your water consumption. And the EPA has reported that an average sprinkler system can consume up to 40 to 100 gallons of water an hour. Many households have pretty much, in some counties, they restrict your ability to use your sprinklers, and that's fine. But many people ignore this restriction because they don't want their lawn to die. And that's the big problem in California and most of the United States as well. Everyone has this little dream house fantasy of the green lawn and the picket fence and the ravishing garden. But unfortunately, we don't have the water to sustain your lawn. And we don't have the water to feed your flowers, to keep them alive. So what's the solution? Let them die? Well, you could if you didn't care, and you're doing a good job because you're doing your part by conserving water. Or you can switch to an alternative, which are drought-free lawns, or drought-tolerant landscaping, also known as. So drought-tolerant landscaping is a process in which you pretty much dig out your lawn entirely and replace it with many desert plants and other arid temperate plants that can survive without water for many days. So it pretty much reduces the amount you have to water them. Desert plants in particular take up only 1/3 of the amount of water required to survive compared to your typical flowers like daffodils and daisies that you can find in the flower bed in American homes. The EPA has also stated that for each square foot of grass you have in your yard, it can consume up to 44 gallons of water a year. So many yards are pretty large. You take square feet, multiply it, you ended up saving thousands of gallons in some houses by just removing your lawn entirely. You could replace it with turf, you could replace it with rock structures. There's plenty of different landscape designs that are quite beautiful and can be used to replace your lawn today. But a lot of people still have the common concerns of why? Why should I replace my lawn? It's like, I like my lawn. It's green, I can play on it, it's pretty cool. Well, aside from the obvious incentive that we need to save water, there is still state incentives for people to get everyone on board with switching to a drought-tolerant landscape. Currently, there are funded programs to pay people, average homeowners, to convert their lawn. The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power offers a total of $3.75 per square foot of lawn removed, so you get almost $4 from them, on top of the fact that the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California also offers a $2 rebate for each square foot, so you can get up to almost $6 a square foot per yard of your yard removed if you convert it. On top of that, there's another $1,000 just bonus fee or bonus check given to those who convert. And then hopefully these programs will help inspire people to, who are a little stingy about cost, to start making the shift over. And hopefully, through those programs, more and more people switch. In some counties, there are entire neighborhoods that have already made the switch, and their water consumption is dropping significantly. We're talking almost 1/3 of that house, those communities using less water, but there's still communities like Orange County and stuff that continue to water their lawn every day, and that's becoming a problem. So, in conclusion, it is the responsibility of all of us as Californians to reduce our water intake, because we all live here. There are 38 million of us, and if 38 million of us all take the simple steps required to just reduce, maybe it's just a few gallons a day, that can easily climb up to millions of gallons just by everyone participating. And in case you don't realize, a human only needs about 3 gallons to sustain their life for a day. And if you're wasting that in the shower, well, you're killing yourself. So to top it all off, I talked about the negative consequences, how we're reducing our farmland, and it's going to impact the economy as well as our ability to provide food for ourselves. And then the simple household changes such as changing your sink controlling how long your showers are. And then there's of course the big changes of converting your lawn if you're a homeowner, or convince your parents to convert your lawn so that you can save almost millions of gallons and we can refill our reservoirs within the next few years. Thank you.
So, Heather, what did you think?
I think overall his presentation was one of the better ones I've seen. His attention getter could have been a little stronger, but it did get the point across. The transition I thought in the beginning would be smoother. It was practiced. I could tell that he practiced it very well. He knew the information. I could tell in the beginning that he was nervous, but eventually went away. That's okay. He was serious about his topic. He had good suggestions to prove it. Even though his gestures weren't like really broad, he had some hand movement there. He had good facts, information. He had cards, but I think he barely used it, so that was really good. I like the vocabulary that he used in his speech. It drew a good picture for me when he was talking about like lawns and grass and flowers. His speech was more like a problem solution, which I thought was great. He made great points to relate to the audience, and I think his closing was really good because not only did he recap everything that he said, but he also challenged the audience to practice better water usage.
All right. Well, let me review the review before I review the speech. I thought that was spot on. I think 89, 95% of what you said was what I was going to say, so that makes it real easy to talk to you about what's going on. What she said. Starting with the attention device, which worked, but I think something could be a little bit more energetic. The only place I disagree with her a little bit is at the end. I thought you had an excellent summary and you're making your argument really well. I just think you need a better exit line, something that's going to be a little bit more powerful and sits with us and helps us remember what we're talking about. But the delivery is really solid. You have the notes that you're using, but you're not overly dependent on them. You only look at them occasionally just to remind yourself of what the quote is or what the statistic is there. That's exactly the way that you want to be using that kind of information if you're going to be using notes at all in the presentation. The only thing that I think is missing is the kind of impact that we could have. Supposing that half of us or all of us did the suggestions that you were talking about, is there a demonstration that that would make a difference? I mean, how much of the drought can be relieved by our activities here? There's how much water can we save in the long run that's going to prevent that drought? I think that's what, when you said at one point, you said, well, if my neighbor's saving water, then I don't need to do it. I think a lot of people, their resistance is, it's not going to make much difference what I do because the vast majority of water goes to other places anyhow. And so I save my 44 gallons by taking a shower that is 10 minutes shorter. Holy crime, half-hour showers? What are you, aquatic? You're gonna because people just don't have pools, I guess, and they want to be in the water or something like that. That's a half hour. That's a long time in the shower. I mean, when it's cold, that's kind of nice. That's really good. But she made pretty good. But I'm just thinking, if I did all those things. By the way, my lawn is dead. I take the short showers. I do all that kind of stuff, and I'm going, okay. So if I made a difference, I don't know. Everybody in my neighborhood has dead lawns. It's like brown. I know brown's the new green. If I see that slogan one more time.
You see, like, one guy's got a dead lawn and like 3 guys got like a really lush green lawn.
Yeah. Well, there's one guy around the corner. It's clear that he waters his lawn every day, and I take the dog by there to poop every day. All right. Yeah. Here you go. Somehow. All right. Good job. Thank you.